Jungkook represents perhaps the most advanced form of this model. His career trajectory, starting from BTS's early days in South Korea to becoming a global music figure, positioned him as both an artist and an influencer whose cultural power transcends national boundaries. Unlike traditional celebrity endorsements, his participation in a campaign carries multi-layered consequences. Global audience mobilization, cross-platform media amplification, and direct consumer behavior shifts across diverse demographics. This is the context in which a rival brand's willingness to pay beyond traditional endorsement contracts must be understood. The move is not simply about attaching a name to a campaign. It is about buying into a multi-layered ecosystem of cultural relevance, digital virality, and long-term market dominance. When Calvin Klein introduced Jungkook as a global ambassador, the brand executed one of its most visible campaigns in years. The decision reinforced Calvin Klein's historical positioning as a youth-driven, boundary-pushing brand that thrives on both minimalism and sensual appeal. Jungkook's first campaign, released in 2023, achieved what traditional advertising budgets could not: immediate global virality. Social platforms reported spikes in engagement. Searches for Calvin Klein products surged, and the brand temporarily reclaimed its dominance in cultural conversations. However, the limitation of Calvin Klein's strategy lay in its reliance on Jungkook as a singular cultural moment rather than building a sustainable, evolving narrative. Campaign visibility was enormous, but the long-term ability to hold Jungkook exclusively became questionable, as more brands recognized the unique scale of his influence. Calvin Klein had positioned itself as the first mover, but first-mover advantage is only as strong as the exclusivity it guarantees. Once other brands signaled readiness to outbid Calvin Klein, the question shifted from whether Jungkook should remain with one brand to how much his presence is worth in a hyper-competitive market. Global visibility across markets. Jungkook's presence ensures access to audiences in South Korea, Southeast Asia, the US, Europe, and the Middle East simultaneously. Few figures hold equal resonance across these regions. Cultural versatility. His image works within multiple contexts: luxury fashion, casual streetwear, lifestyle branding, and even tech collaborations. This adaptability increases potential campaign applicability. Social media leverage. In the digital age, engagement is currency. Jungkook's influence on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and X, Twitter, extends beyond passive consumption to active viral participation. Fan loyalty as market power, BTS's fanbase ARMY, is unparalleled in mobilization. When aligned with brand campaigns, fan activity generates measurable sales spikes and global trend dominance. Cultural endorsement beyond advertising. Jungkook represents aspirational authenticity. His association elevates brand narratives beyond commercial goals, framing them as cultural phenomena. From an economic standpoint, these 5 factors combine to produce an endorsement valuation far above industry averages. A brand willing to pay the highest price is not overspending. It is investing in a cultural monopoly, betting that Jungkook's association guarantees relevance in a marketplace where attention itself is the scarcest commodity. If Calvin Klein had secured Jungkook under exclusive, long-term terms, rival brands would have limited leverage. The fact that other names are reportedly bidding suggests that exclusivity was either not part of the original arrangement or that Calvin Klein underestimated the extent of global competition for Jungkook's influence. Several brand categories stand out as potential challengers. Luxury fashion houses. European heritage brands seeking younger, global audiences. athletic and lifestyle companies, Nike, Adidas, Puma, and others competing in youth culture spaces, tech giants, Apple, Samsung, or emerging AI-driven companies aiming to humanize innovation through cultural icons, luxury consumer goods fragrance, jewelry, and watches that require aspirational yet accessible ambassadors. Each of these categories has reason to outbid Calvin Klein. For European luxury brands, Jungkook represents the key to unlocking Asian and American Gen Z consumers. For tech firms, he offers a bridge between technological innovation and cultural adoption. For consumer goods, his aspirational yet relatable image aligns with lifestyle branding strategies. The competitor brand's readiness to pay a record fee thus becomes logical. In a world where consumer attention defines brand success, the most efficient way to capture global attention is to align with the cultural figure who already commands it. If Calvin Klein loses exclusivity, the consequences extend beyond a single campaign. The brand risks losing its central narrative of being the one that captured Jungkook first. Once a rival successfully attaches his name to their campaigns, Calvin Klein's position shifts from innovator to competitor, forced to react rather than lead. Moreover, in fashion and lifestyle branding, timing and perception are as critical as product design. Losing Jungkook to a rival brand not only diminishes Calvin Klein's cultural dominance, but also signals to consumers and investors that the brand is no longer the leading innovator in celebrity-driven marketing. This perception alone can shift market momentum, regardless of Calvin Klein's actual financial health or design strategy. It is worth emphasizing that reports of a brand paying the highest price to secure Jungkook are not merely about financial transactions. In cultural industries, numbers carry symbolic weight. The act of paying more than Calvin Klein or any other competitor creates a narrative of commitment, ambition, and dominance. Consumers interpret such moves not only as financial investments, but also as symbolic statements. This brand believes in Jungkook more than anyone else. That symbolic narrative often proves as powerful as the campaign itself. When audiences perceive that a brand has risked unprecedented resources for a cultural figure, they project higher expectations onto the campaign, which can amplify its visibility before it even launches. In this sense, the price tag becomes part of the marketing itself. The final layer in understanding this development is recognizing that partnerships like Jungkook's are evolving from mere endorsements into cultural alliances. Brands no longer simply hire celebrities. They seek to align with cultural figures whose influence can reshape brand identity for years to come. Jungkook embodies this transformation. He is not just a model for campaigns, but a co-architect of global narratives around style, aspiration, and cultural relevance. This shift explains why a brand would pursue him at any cost. Aligning with Jungkook is no longer about seasonal campaigns. It is about securing a cultural partner whose influence will define the global marketplace in the mid-2020s. One of the strongest contenders in this competition comes from European luxury fashion houses. Brands such as Louis Vuitton, Dior, Gucci, and Prada operate within a space where heritage, exclusivity, and global visibility define success. For these brands, Jungkook offers a unique advantage: the ability to bridge generational divides without diluting brand identity. Appeal to younger audiences. Gen Z and younger millennials often find European heritage brands distant or overly traditional. Jungkook's presence softens this perception, creating accessibility without diminishing exclusivity. Expansion in Asia. The Asia-Pacific region accounts for a significant portion of luxury sales. Having Jungkook as the face of a campaign directly addresses this market with a figure who represents both aspirational lifestyle and cultural familiarity. Cross-market spillover. His influence is not limited to Asia. European and American audiences consume BTS and Jungkook content at scale, making him a global bridge. Luxury houses are historically willing to spend vast sums on securing cultural relevance. For them, paying the highest price is not only justifiable, but aligned with long-term brand strategy. American companies in the athletic and lifestyle sector, Nike, Adidas, Puma, or even New Balance, also stand as potential challengers to Calvin Klein. These brands thrive on cultural associations with athletes, musicians, and influencers. Athletic crossover. Jungkook's image as a performer, dancer, and fitness enthusiast aligns seamlessly with athletic wear branding. Streetwear influence. In recent years, the line between luxury fashion and athletic streetwear has blurred. A collaboration with Jungkook situates an athletic brand within both performance and style contexts. Market penetration. For US-based brands, Jungkook offers rare influence in Asia while reinforcing relevance in Western youth markets where K-pop has become mainstream. The financial reasoning here is simple. Securing Jungkook means instant entry into conversations that merge music, fashion, and lifestyle spaces athletic companies have been competing to dominate. Technology brands increasingly seek cultural figures to humanize innovation and connect with younger audiences. Whether through smartphone endorsements, wearable technology, or AI-driven platforms, tech firms recognize that figures like Jungkook can accelerate product adoption. Consumer electronics. A brand like Samsung, for example, could benefit from associating Jungkook with lifestyle products such as smartphones, earbuds, or smartwatches. His presence elevates devices beyond functionality, positioning them as lifestyle essentials. Western tech giants. Apple, though traditionally selective in celebrity partnerships, could theoretically benefit from connecting with Jungkook in Asia. Similarly, emerging AI firms may view him as the ultimate cultural bridge. Wearables and fashion tech hybrids. As wearable tech becomes more style-driven, Jungkook's involvement adds aspirational value that encourages adoption across demographics. Tech companies often operate with the largest marketing budgets in the world. This sector has the capacity not only to match, but to surpass the sums paid by fashion and lifestyle brands. A fourth and equally likely sector includes watches, jewelry, and fragrances. These products rely heavily on aspirational marketing, and Jungkook represents the perfect archetype for aspirational campaigns. Fragrance campaigns. Perfume and cologne brands thrive on attaching their products to powerful imagery of identity, attraction, and lifestyle. Jungkook's broad appeal makes him an ideal candidate. Jewelry and watches. With fans already analyzing the accessories he wears in public, a partnership with a luxury watchmaker or jewelry house could trigger significant consumer activity. High margins, high spend. Unlike fashion items with varying price points, watches and fine jewelry exist in the high-margin space. Allocating record-breaking sums to secure Jungkook is strategically justifiable because even modest sales increases generate significant revenue. The rivalry is not simply financial. It reflects differing cultural and strategic perspectives between US and European companies. US approach. American companies view Jungkook as a mainstream cultural figure whose influence integrates seamlessly with entertainment and lifestyle narratives. For them, his value lies in bridging the gap between youth culture and mass-market products. European approach. European luxury houses interpret Jungkook differently. They see him as a rare figure who can modernize heritage brands without undermining exclusivity. His presence is not about mass-market penetration, but about redefining what aspirational luxury looks like to younger generations. This divergence explains why both sides are prepared to invest heavily, though for different strategic reasons. Paying an unprecedented sum to secure a single cultural figure comes with clear risks. Over-reliance on one figure. If a brand invests too much in Jungkook, its identity risks becoming overly dependent on his presence. Any shift in his career trajectory could create vulnerabilities. Market saturation. If Jungkook collaborates with multiple brands simultaneously, his impact for each brand could diminish, reducing exclusivity. Public reception. Audiences are sensitive to over-commercialization. Excessive use of Jungkook in advertising risks backlash, especially if campaigns lack originality.